What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some soundtrack music, and we're going to listen to a song from the Andrew Lloyd Webber production of The Phantom of the Opera, originally performed in 1986. I believe it ran in Broadway all the way up to 2023 with a break in 2020. Nevertheless, I think it's the longest running Broadway show of any kind, and I think the second or third, depending on how you calculate it, longest running West End show. Nevertheless, it's a show or a musical I saw a few times as a kid, a couple times with the original Phantom, Michael Crawford. I think a couple years later I saw it with Robert Guillaume as the Phantom, but yeah, I think it's fantastic. I don't know, is popular opinion, or I don't know whether popular opinion about it, has shifted notably over time. In some ways, I suppose the score has a very 80s sound. Nevertheless, I've always enjoyed the musical overall, and several of the songs in particular. Now, we're not actually going to hear a song featuring the Phantom, though this is the 1987 soundtrack, meaning it's the original cast, and we are going to hear Sarah Brightman as Christine Daae. I do want to mention, part of the reason I was inspired to do this is because I was visiting my parents, and they had some music playing in the background, and eventually they played some of the songs from the 2004 movie version, which has Gerard Butler as the Phantom, which, I don't criticize, but I remember hearing, or I heard those tunes and was like, oh, this makes me very nostalgic, but it's not the voices I remember, so I wanted to come home and listen to the proper soundtrack, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted to do this or Point of No Return. I like both of those a great deal, and perhaps my favorite is the Phantom of the Opera theme with the big organ hits and the, Inside Your Mind. But yeah, I wanted to start with All I Ask of You, which is one of the more romantic, emotional tunes in the score. It takes place between Christine Daae and Raoul. I don't remember in the moment who does the vocals in the original cast for Raoul, so I'll try to look it up before I post and put it in the description. Surely some people will know. Feel free to write in a comment. In any case, this speaks to the way that Raoul is trying to not only be with Christine, but has recognized that there's a threat, there's a danger, and he's saying, I'll shield you from that, I'll protect you from that, I'll dry the tears in your eyes. All I ask is that you're here with me. So, yeah, and the Phantom is watching this. I forget exactly the staging or the blocking, if you will, but he's somewhere witnessing this and, growing jealous and feeling like she's not appreciating what he is doing for her career and her singing. So, yeah, it's a complicated point in the narrative, but the sentiment of the song is straightforward and true. So, yeah, let's listen to it. This is from Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera, the original cast, the 1987 soundtrack, and it's All I Ask of You.
No more talk of darkness, forget these wide-eyed fears. I'm here, nothing can harm you, my words will warm and calm you. Let me be your freedom, let daylight dry your tears. I'm here, with you, beside you, to guard you and to guide you. Let me be your shelter, let me be your light. You're safe, no one will find you, your fears are far behind you.
All I want is freedom, a world with no more night, and you always beside me, to hold me and to hide me.
Then say you'll share with me one love, one lifetime. Let me lead you from your solitude. Say you need me with you here beside you. Anywhere you go, let me go too. Christine, that's all I ask of you.
Synth bass. Again, there are parts of the score which you can tell the era that they come from, even if it's, you know, a timeless sort of story and it's taking place long before the era, or it's set in the era long before the musical was created. And shout out to Gaston Leroux, I believe, the author of the novel upon which it's based. But yeah, it's a very sweet and devotional tune. Now, again, Christine is in a very complicated situation because she's also being enticed into the darkness by the Phantom, though with a potential reward that she is, you know, coming to the fore and taking over the lead role, and, you know, he's teaching her how to refine her singing even better. So yeah, it's a complicated place in the story, but that moment between Raoul and Christine is very sweet and loving. I'm gonna look it up now because I feel like these things I sometimes forget. Let's see if I can quickly figure out who plays Raoul there. Let me see. Okay, Cliff Richard, I believe, is the performance. Oh no, Steve Barton. Sorry, originally played on stage by Sarah Brightman and Steve Barton. But does that mean? I'm confused. It's definitely Sarah Brightman, but yeah, Cliff Richard is, I guess, the person who sings it on the soundtrack. So I guess we just heard Cliff Richard, even though, again, apparently Steve Barton was the actor who played Raoul in the original performance. An operatic pop piece. Well, now I know what to call it. Yeah, oh, interesting. This is sort of based on, you know, forms that had been developed in earlier operas. But yeah, I do think it's one of my favorites from the piece. You know, it's one of the lightest and sweetest. I do enjoy, as I said, Point of No Return even more, or on the same level, and that has more of a darkness to it. It has more of a, there's danger afoot, because the Phantom is saying, like, you know, these little essential, like, flirtations that we've had, we're past that. Like, the games we play are at an end, and now, you know, it's gonna go one way or explode. So yeah, I'll come back and react to that. I'll react to the title track, the big organ piece, because as I said, that's my favorite, and I always think of the scene when the Phantom is first taking Christine on the boat, like, down into the depths under the Opera House. So yeah, like I said, it was just cool to be reminded of this score through the 2004 movie score. And to be fair, I've never seen the movie. I remember thinking at the time, like, Gerard Butler seemed like an odd casting choice. I make no reproach about his singing ability, but when I heard parts of that score earlier, I just had this thought that, man, I love this song. I do want to hear it with the Crawford voice, though. So, in any case, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.